Now, moving on to numbers 3 and 4. When one of the diets that I tried the Fast 800 diet. I tried intermittent fasting in several different varieties, and I liked them. I didn't lose weight on them. But what I needed, the piece that I needed from those are that in intermittent fasting, I don't want to eat a lot of food during the time when it's my eating window. I still want to be able to have food that my body can digest within 2 hours. Because if my body can't return to a baseline of its glucose level within 2 hours of eating, then I actually will have a higher glucose response because of too much food in my stomach. And so for me, when I was trying the intermittent fasting before, I would eat a lot of food because I was worried about that 16-hour fast window that I was about to go into, or a 24-hour fast window. But that was really hard on my body and actually made it so I craved more food. So number 3 is I want to only eat enough that my body can actually return to baseline within 2 hours. So that means that I need to learn. So here's number 4. I need to learn when what the difference in my hunger signals are, because I have differences in those hunger signals. And how do I do that? Well, to differentiate your hunger signals means that if you will write down, I kept track of it in an app, but if you'll write down on a paper or in an app, keep track of what time and what you ate. If you start to get cravings and you think, oh yeah, I'm hungry, look back to how long ago you ate. If you ate between 40 minutes ago and 80 minutes ago, you're probably having a low glucose moment that isn't attached to hunger. And so here's another trick, is that you can actually, when you start, if it hasn't been more than 2 hours since you ate last, something that's better to do than to reach for more food, even though you feel like you don't have energy or your glucose is going down, is do just a couple of minutes of exercise. Maybe do some push-ups, or get up and do a couple of flights of stairs. A little bit more than just a walking pace will actually put glycogen into your bloodstream, which will help balance out that sugar level so that you don't need food, because you're not actually hungry yet. You're having a crash in your glucose. So that helps differentiate between the different kinds of hungers that you're having. Now, the next thing to understand is that I do want to have a fasting window for my body to be able to go 14 hours. In all the research I did from all the different doctors and different places, because understand, I'm a non-diabetic, but as a non-diabetic, I can still benefit from understanding the things that are going on in our body that most of the time is reserved for diabetics to have education on. And so one of the things I learned is that if I can go 14 hours for a fasting window, it gives my body a chance to go to a baseline of glucose, because I might have a different nighttime glucose baseline than I do a daytime glucose baseline. And so a 14-hour fast window, that one's the best. And then to follow that up, number 5 here is try to limit the number of carbs that you have for your first meal after that fasting window. Because if you can do that, that will actually help to raise the blood sugar slowly and not too fast. So then somebody's going to ask, well, then shouldn't I just live the keto diet all the time? Well, no, because your body needs to be able to switch back and forth between its ability to burn carbs and its ability to burn fat. In the blood sugar world, that's called metabolic flexibility. And if I eat carbs all the time, I actually reduce my body's ability to handle carbs overall. And so I don't want to just eliminate them, but to eat a breakfast that's low in carbs is really good. So these sugary cereals that we have, oh my gosh, they just wreak havoc on our blood sugar levels for the rest of the day, because I'm starting my day with a spike, 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 spike. Because you can actually have several spikes from the same meal if it's too glucose raising too quickly. My son, I've started him with a glucose monitor this last week. And if you're interested in having your own glucose monitor, I have reached out to a glucose a company that can help you get one. And so look for that link below as well. And I've started him on one of those. And what I helped him do, the very first thing we did was cut out sugary cereals, because he was eating like Fruity Pebble knockoff cereal every morning for breakfast. And he was starting his day with these spikes. And he said to me, just a couple of days into his balancing his glucose, he's like, oh, what was his words? I can't look them up. I'll find them, but they're on my phone here. But he said he no longer feels, it's completely changed his energy level during the day. Oh, he said he can, oh, here it is. He goes, it doesn't physically hurt to stay focused on a subject anymore. I'm like, I thought that was huge. It doesn't physically hurt to stay engaged. And he said he's learning how to influence his energy levels and isn't tired constantly. And that's the main thing that we've changed, is the things I've already taught you. Having a lower carb breakfast, and then to pay attention to the differentiating the hunger signals, and then doing a quick burst of exercise when he starts to feel the dip instead of reaching for another snack.